Yo, what's the dealio, man? Listen, you already know I got a straight banger for you guys today. All right? So, in this video, what we're going to talk about is reversals, okay? Not fake outs, but reversals. Is this an actual reversal or is it going to continue to go down? All right? So if you guys are watching this, be sure to like this video. Let me know if y'all killed it in the stock market today. All right, market came down. Obviously, it ain't no surprise. We know what happened. I hope you guys rolled puts. All right, we've been teaching you exactly how to do this. Right, if y'all been tapping into this YouTube channel, you already know what time it is, and we went over everything yesterday. All right, so if y'all killed it in the stock market, let me know in the comments right below. All right. So we're going to talk about reversals. Now, when we thinking about reversals, we're going to think about from the upside and from the downside. So a reversal to the upside and a reversal to the downside. What I call that is a bounce from the downside to the upside and a rejection from the upside to the downside. All right? So that's the first thing right there. Now, the next thing that we need to be looking at is what time frame are we looking at? Okay? What time frame are we looking at? Because you can see a reversal on the 15-minute, but you can see an uptrend on the hourly, right? You can see a reversal on the 30-minute, but you can see an uptrend on the daily, right? So first things first, which time frame are you locked in on? What time frame do you think that this is going to be reversing at? That's the first thing, okay? Next thing is, we need to make sure that we're not calling a pullback a reversal. This is a gem right here. Let's make sure that we're not calling a pullback a reversal. And when I say pullback, I mean if a stock is coming down and it goes up a little bit, that's a pullback. And then it comes down some more, that's a pullback. Or if a stock is going up and then it comes down some, and then it goes back up, that was just a pullback, right? So a pullback or a rejection or a bounce, right? How are we able to really spot these out? Okay. So like I said, first thing we need to understand the time frame that we're focused on. Okay. The next thing is you want to know what direction you expect the stock to be going in. Okay. So let's say you trading in this 35 minutes into the market, right? And you like, okay, I'm looking for a rejection here. Why do you think that the stock is going to reject where you're looking at it? Just because you see a red candlestick does not mean that it is a rejection or it is a bounce. And I think that today and on Friday, you guys learn that, right? Whether you took a L or you made money, I think that if you guys are paying attention enough, you know if it was a reversal or if it was a fake out, right? So when we're looking at reversals, we want to understand what time frame are we focused on? What is my daily direction? All right, daily direction, daily direction, daily direction. Get that in your head. Every single day, I'm asking myself, what is the daily direction for the stock that I plan on trading? Right? If I expect the stock to go to the downside simply because we've been having some downward pressure, or we got a bearish 3-bar, or we got a failed 2 up, then I'm expecting the stock to go to the downside, right? So then the next thing is, where do I expect this stock to reject at from going to the upside, or where do I expect the stock to bounce from the downside from, right? If you guys are paying attention, you know I'm always talking about rejection points, right? When I give you guys levels, what do I always talk about? Rejection points. This is an area where the stock can reject. And a lot of times it does that thing. It rejects off of that. Okay? So now what I want to do is I want to be able to go to the charts and I want to show you guys these things, but I wanted to talk about things to pay attention to when we're looking at a rejection. Also, you want to ask yourself, are we at a support or resistance or order block or a supply and demand zone, right? If we're not at that level, that key level, it's probably not a reversal and it's going to continue to go in the direction then it will reverse, reject, or bounce once it gets to that level, that order block, that supply or demand zone. Okay? Keep these things in mind, y'all. This is gonna save you money and it's gonna make you money, right? And it's gonna make you an absolute killer in the market. Okay? So let's go to the charts and let me break this stuff down for you guys. All right? The other thing that I'm gonna say is when you're looking for reversals, right? And when we say reversals, we're talking about like trend reversals, right? So things to start trending upwards or trending downwards. We're also looking for candlesticks to start getting a little bit smaller as they get closer to that area, right? So if I see a stock in an uptrend on a daily time frame and I'm seeing Maribozu candles, or like I call them boner candles, right? Them green candles that look like this, right? That's a boner candle, okay? Now, if I'm seeing those candles, then I'm not going to be looking for a rejection yet because the green candles are not getting smaller yet, right? And same to the downside. If I see a big dookie candle to the downside, I'm not going to expect for a complete reversal yet. You see what I'm saying? So just because you see a big green boner candle doesn't mean that it could be in a downtrend, right? And you could see a big green candle, doesn't mean that it's a reversal just yet, right? We need to have confirmation. And also to the upside, it's the same thing, if that makes sense, okay? I hope I'm not confusing you guys. I'm trying to make this super, super simple, right? So let's go to the charts and let me break this down for you guys, all right? So this is a great example for the day because we had some downward action, right? So a lot of times what we see is we'll see, let's say on a 15-minute on APLD right here, right? So we came down right here, right? And then we came down and we closed right here. Now, a lot of people are going to think that, okay, it's about to come up because it candle opened here and it started to push up. They're going to take entry right here as it's going up. And then what's going to happen? It's going to reject off of this fair value gap that they did not see, right? And then there is going to come down and they're going to lose money, right? So if we go to all of these stocks right here, right? If we go to all of these stocks right here, they all did the same thing today, right? Moved to the downside, came up a little bit, came down some more, right? These candles right here came down, came down, came down. Look at Intel, right? Came down, came down, came down. This candle right here, I guarantee you, it tricked people out, right? This looks like it could be a rejection right here, but the high of this candle did not get taken out yet. So therefore, it wasn't a reversal, right? This, pulled back a little bit, then it came down lower again, right? Let's look at Apple. Now, I almost took Apple calls literally about 20 minutes ago, right? When I was looking at Apple, I saw a double bottom right here, but it was right here. And I said, okay, if we start pushing up, that's when I'm going to take entry. I could have took entry after it took out this high right here, or I could have waited until it broke the neckline, right? This is called discipline as well. I waited, and then look what happened. It dumped some more. I actually told myself it could actually come down to 268. Now, why did I say it could come down to 268? Because we have an order block right here. So I am not looking for a reversal until we get down to this area right here off the daily time frame. Okay. So let's go back to the 15-minute, right? Or the 30-minute, either or. Okay. So when I see a big candle like this, what do we talk about, y'all? Right? When you see these big candles, right? It could fake you out to the downside and then come up and it could retrace this whole candle, or it could continue to trend to the downside. But, right, when we think that we're going to get a reversal right here, we got to understand that we need smaller candles, and then we need a confirmation. And then we need to know, is there a fair value gap, right? Because a fair value gap is an area of liquidity, okay? So if we can get through the fair value gap, that is going to let me know that we're reversing, okay? So I need to take this RSI off. I don't pay attention to the RSI as much as I used to like a year or so ago because it's not always accurate, right? So today the stocks kept trending out, even though they were looking like a reversal, right? Depending on what time frame you were looking at. But the biggest thing that I can say is when you have these big fair value gaps right here, you have to wait until the stock gets through the fair value gap to really know if it's reversing and it's going to come higher, or right, if it doesn't and it rejects, then it's going to start coming lower. Okay? So fair value gaps, they literally have changed the whole game for me because it all just makes so much sense, right? It is an area of liquidity, and I use fair value gaps every day in my trading, and it helps me tremendously, right? So because if you think that, okay, the stock came down and we about to come right back up, it's going to reverse. Understood, right? But we need to see if we're going to be able to get above this fair value gap, or if we're going to reject somewhere inside of the fair value gap, because this whole area is an area of liquidity. So as we see Apple, it came down, right? It came up and it rejected, came down again, tried to come back up again, came right back down. Right? That's what happened. Let's look at Dell. Where's Dell at? They don't have any like fair value gaps, but they're just consolidating today. Let's look at Oracle, right? This is you see how this is getting through this fair value gap right here? Okay. So, and then it came right back down almost at the height, the top of the fair value gap, right? So some fair value gaps, stocks will be able to get through it quicker than others, and some fair value gaps they won't, right? Let's look at Robinhood. Is this a fair value gap? Boom, right? Fair value gap right here came down, right? Probably tricked people out right here. People thought it was going to go right back up, right? Came up, came down some more. Then it came up here, came to this fair value gap, and then it rejected, and it came right back down, right? Let's look at AMD. They're not doing too much, consolidating a little bit. Google, where are they at, right? Fair value gap right here, came down, opened up, didn't even get up here to the fair value gap, and then look what happened. Came down some more, right? Now we see right here on a 15-minute, I don't want to say reversed it. It came back up $2, right? So it's going to try to come back up to this fair value gap. But if it can't get above these highs right here, then it's going to reject and come back down. But we have a lot of fair value gaps here that is where buyers are at. So it's probably going to end up going back up, and it's going to try to break through this fair value gap here, which is once again an area of liquidity. All right. Look at APLD, right? APLD, they could not get back to this fair value gap right here, right? They rejected off of this fair value gap, came right back down, right? So these areas of liquidity either keep stocks down or they help them go to the upside, okay? This is paramount for you guys to understand, all right? Look at NVIDIA. This is just an order block, so they couldn't get above this order block right here, right? So when you're looking at stocks making a big move to the upside or to the downside and you're looking for a reversal, you need to really ask yourself, where am I at in relevance to my key levels, right? And then if we're at a key level, it's more likely to reverse and go to the opposite direction, right? But if we're like in the middle of a range, it's probably not going to reverse. It's either going to chop around and get ready to go down to that next area, the next order block, or it's going to just fake you out to the upside real quick and then come to the downside, right? When you look at these stocks, look at this right here. So it came down here. You see how on Uber on the 15-minute, all we have is a fair value gap up here, right? Which is why it was a little bit easier for Uber to come up here, right? But it still came to the middle of it, and then it rejected and it came down. It looks like a double bottom, but we have to see if it is, okay? But if we go to the 30-minute, do we have a fair value gap here? Not on this bar right here. But these big bars in the middle, because that area still hasn't fully been tested, I would still be kind of patient to see if it's going to be, if you can like break through and get through. And also remember, when we're talking about when we have like moves to the downside, when you have these candles like this, when you have these big candles, right? These big red candles, like look at this right here, right? This looks like a reversal potentially. but it came up inside of this fair value gap. And what did it do? It rejected and it came right back down, right? So it couldn't really reverse and start an uptrend. So what happens? It came down lower. Where did it come down lower to? It came right down to this order block right here. It was in the order block, bounced up, tried to come up higher, and then it came down lower. So now it came down lower. It's going to try to really, get the strength to blast through these fair value gaps right here. So we have two big fair value gaps right here that it has to get through. Okay. So whenever I see big fair value gaps, I'm not really looking for a reversal immediately, because I know that I'm actually going to look to take it in the opposite way, because I know that when we go into a fair value gap, there's a good chance that we're going to reject and reverse and then come right back in the direction where we just came from. Okay. So when you're looking at this stuff, it doesn't matter the stock. I always say that stuff. It does not matter the stock. What matters is understanding how this stuff works. Okay. So look at HIMS, right? Big red candle from 37 all the way to 35.90, right? We had a failed 2 down. It didn't break below this low of day right here. Came up, came down, and then it came up. Right now we're inside of this fair value gap right here. Now I'll probably think that somewhere in here we're going to reject, come down like most of the stocks have been doing today, right? And then it could create a double bottom and bounce off of this order block, and then it could go back to the upside, right? But you see, the only times that the stock changes directions is at these order blocks, which are key levels, right? Order blocks or supply and demand zones. That's the only place where the stock really changes direction, right? So even if you're in a trade and it's going up and down, if it's in the middle of a range, it's probably not going to reverse. It's going to go down to that key level first, and then it's going to bounce or reject, and then it'll start going into the opposite direction. Okay, so this is extremely important for you guys to understand. All right, when I'm looking at reversals, I'm looking at, are we at a key level, right? So are we at a key level? Are we at a fair value gap where buyers or sellers are at, and we could bounce or reject? Because even when we have these bearish 3-bar candles, sometimes we could go right to it, close at that fair value gap or that order block, and then the next day we could gap up, right? And the same with we could go to the upside and we think we're gonna keep going up, but we closed right, at the fair value gap or the order block, and then the sellers are too strong, and then what happens? We gap down because they push the stock right down, or the next day we'll go right back to the downside, right? So it's pivotal and super important for you guys to understand how this stuff really works, okay? This is why I've gotten so much more selective with my swing trades over time, right? And this is also why I enjoy day trading and also scalp trading more, and not holding positions overnight, because you can make big money day trading, right? You just need to understand this game. And this is also why I say the more you study, the less you worry, because the deeper you get into this stuff, the less you're worried about, oh, I want to catch this move overnight, right? Because you can't always predict the news, but what you can predict is the price action when you've been studying enough and you understand what's really going on, okay? So I hope that video helped, and I hope that it made sense for you guys, all right? So we got the live tonight, all right? We're going to find some setups. We already know we're going to go fishing, and we're going to celebrate y'all wins, okay? So like I always say, make sure you get up out your head, go get into this world, because your head is a dangerous place to live, all right? And also remember, y'all, the more you study, the less you worry, all right? I appreciate y'all tapping in. All y'all have a great day. I'm going to see you guys later on. All y'all stay smooth. Peace.